Hey everybody, it's Joe with Joe Knows Crypto is here with a daily crypto video update. So today I want to talk about some news that happened over the weekend. It wasn't really news, but it was more headlines. And if you haven't noticed, pretty much all the major newspapers, news organizations are all given the story, the headline to report on from the higher ups. And by the higher ups, I mean the elite. They're the ones who own 90% of the news. They're the ones who make the news, who make what's important. So if you look at like The Economist magazine, this is a magazine that is owned by the Rothschild family, who I've talked about before. They're, I believe, the richest family in the entire world. Never mind the Jeff Bezos and the Bill Gates and Warren Buffetts. Those people compared to the Rothschilds are poor. Okay, the Rothschilds pretty much own every central bank in every country. They have as much money, land, wealth, real estate, you name it, they've got it all. Not all, but they own such a large portion of it, it's ridiculous. Well, they also own the media in most countries. And they tell the media what the talking points are going to be. You hear these things like the Bilderberg group and the, all these different organizations that meet in private, which is illegal. It's illegal for any government or government entities to meet in private to talk about the future of the countries or the country without it being at least letting the people know what it's about. And so first of all, it's illegal that they do it, but since they're such powerful people, who's going to stop them, right? So when they have these meetings like the Bilderberg meeting, what they talk about in this meetings is the direction that they want the world to go in, what they want to make popular, what they want to phase out, what they want humans, me and you, and the little scum under their feet to do and abide by, and what's going to be popular and what's not going to be popular, and what laws they want to bring in and what things they want to phase out. Very manipulative. They don't allow any news or reporters inside of the Bilderberg conference. So this just shows these are the people that are the elite. These are the people that are the 1%. The people that Bernie Sanders talks about are not the people that make $100,000 a year or $1 million a year. The elite, and I don't like Bernie Sanders, trust me, he's a socialist. Socialism is terrible. Next worst thing to communism, it's the the gateway drug to communism. All right, but I'm not going to talk about politics too much. I came here to talk about cryptocurrencies. So the headlines that these elite wanted to put out over the weekend was that cryptocurrencies are not a threat to the banks. And there were statements put out by about at least five that I know of banks that all had the same or similar headline, that cryptocurrencies are not a threat to the bank. Isn't it kind of coincidental that five banks, at least, probably more, this is all that I really cared to research, because once you get over a couple, that it's basically the talking point that they want pushed out there to the public. Five banks came out and said that cryptocurrencies are not a threat to the banks. Why would they even put that headline out there? Was anybody saying that cryptocurrencies were a threat to the banks besides for us, us insiders who know what cryptocurrency is about and know, the downfall of the bank and the positive things from cryptocurrencies? Because really, not too many people are really into cryptocurrencies, as of now. It's not a hot topic, really. It's gaining a little bit of traction here because volume has increased a bit. But overall, it's not something that you hear people walking up and down the street and by the water cooler and on Facebook and Twitter talking about cryptocurrencies nonstop. It's not like the thing of the moment. So why are the banks coming out and talking about this now? Well, I believe it's because they want to get ahead of it. They want to get ahead of the crypto craze before it catches on. They want to kind of not squash it. I don't want to say squash it, but take away any hype that may come prematurely. So when 5 articles at least come out over the weekend, all on the same exact headline, basically, just switch the words around a little bit, you know that there's a reason for it. Now, why? Another reason they're coming out with this soon is because I think they learned a lot of lessons when Donald Trump got elected, because they did not expect him to get elected. They did not expect Donald Trump to win. And basically the way he won was he went on social media platforms and spoke his mind, and because he was talking about things that normal politicians don't talk about, he started to get a lot of news coverage because of that. But basically, even with that, they never expected Hillary to lose, because she was their chosen winner. And no matter how they tried to knock, ridicule anything that Trump said, he still got enough votes to win. So with cryptocurrencies, they don't want cryptocurrencies because they know how fast they can explode. They don't want them to explode and get out of control and then be an actual threat to the bank. They're trying to put the thought out there in people's minds that money is safe, money is good, money is secure, banks are where you should keep your money. They're trying to get a jump on it before cryptocurrencies can go out there and start to go crazy. Because the banks, I don't care what any of you say, are scared shitless of cryptocurrencies. They can't figure out a way to stop it from taking over. The only thing they can do right now is try to put out negative press, reject ETFs, have their big hitters that people trust financially, like Warren Buffett, come out and knock it. And even still, it hasn't brought the price down much further than it really is. I mean, it did drop a little bit over the weekend, but I wouldn't call that a huge drop. So it dropped a little bit. We'll talk about that in a second also. So they're doing what they can to keep, people's mind off of investing in cryptocurrencies. But I have to say, any news is good news in this situation, because even though they're saying that it's not a threat, they're still talking about cryptocurrencies. And like I said, the more times that people hear about cryptocurrency and Bitcoin, they may not investigate it the first time, the second time, the third time, but come the fourth and the fifth time is when they start to look into it on their own. Now, not everybody, but more people than are now. And when, and there's going to be those who just look at it briefly, who don't ever do anything or don't do anything until later on. There's going to be enough that start to come in and actually research it, much like you and I did when we first got into cryptocurrencies. And those are the ones that are going to bring new money into the market. So even though it's bad press, it's still, in my mind, good press, because it's getting the name of cryptocurrencies out there. So that's my thoughts on the headlines. Now, the market, I had talked about, had been doing this pattern where it would kind of go up on Friday, Saturday, and then come down the end of the day, Sunday, and into Monday. Well, it did almost that, except it didn't go up on Friday, Saturday. It stayed the same all week, about the 129, 130 range. And it stayed the same all through the weekend until, Sunday night, where it dropped down to, the 125 billion range. So what I was saying, we're seeing this pattern was going up on after the market closed on Friday, Saturday, and then Sunday night coming back down. So what it did this weekend is it just went straight across all through Friday night, Saturday, and then Sunday it did go down again. So let's see what happens this week, if it's going to do that bump up again, if it's going to come across and go down further. But I really don't see it going down much more There's just it's too valuable. I just can't wait for one country to come out and say that they are going to start collecting Bitcoin or cryptocurrencies in their reserve funds, because that's what countries do. They invest in a basket of different things and hold it in their reserves. So if one goes down, hopefully the other goes up, or they don't lose all their money at one shot if their currency goes down. So they hold like a little basket of reserves. I can't wait till even a small country says that. I think right now they're being controlled by, like I said, the central banks, or these elite who do not want cryptocurrencies to explode, at least yet. And they're the ones who control basically what these countries hold in reserve. And it's going to take someone like Russia, because Russia is not controlled by the Rothschilds. They actually kicked the Rothschilds out of Russia, and if they come into Russia, they'll be arrested on sight. So that's one of the reasons, basically, why there's a lot of animosity with Russia. And you don't really hear Trump saying that he doesn't like Russia, but you'll hear the news constantly bashing Russia collusion, the Russians, look out for the Russians are doing this, when it's really China. China is the one who's the bigger problem. They're the ones who are building islands off the coast. They're just depositing sand and dirt and building up in the ocean and creating islands, and then putting military missile sites on these islands, which is very, very illegal, because where they're doing it is supposed to be neutral waters. So they're turning neutral waters into China territory, and they're actually threatening people who are ships that come through this area now, that they will attack them. This has been going on now for a good about 12 months. You never hear about it in the news, though. So let's see, cryptocurrencies. So today they were down, or yesterday they were down. I actually just went in and swooped up just a couple more Litecoin, not much, but just I don't put more in than I can afford to lose. So basically, say the whole crypto market crashed and burned today or tonight, I would still be living the same lifestyle. I might actually live a little bit better lifestyle, because the little extra money that I put into cryptocurrencies I could actually spend on myself. But I don't mind. It's money that it doesn't really affect my life, basically at all. I still have everything that I need. And this is what I suggest for most people, because I'm not sure when we're going to see this explosion. I'm surprised that it hasn't happened yet, but it's just they're trying to keep the market down the best they can. But when it's like a leak, it's the information is slowly leaking out, but eventually that leak, that little pinhole that the leak is coming through, cracks, and then the flood comes. And when the flood comes, they're not going to be able to stop it. They know that there's nothing that I'm talking about the elite, there's nothing that they're going to be able to do to stop it. They've already had all their big wigs come out. They can try to ban it, but it won't matter, because at that point, once people get a taste for something and then they try to take it away from you, you want it even more. And they know that will happen, and they know that they're in trouble, because they know that it's better than fiat. They know that it's going to just gobble up fiat. As fiat loses value and Bitcoin gains value, people are going to get wise to that really quick once the news comes out and it gets widespread and people get a taste for it. That's all they're going to want, and they're not going to want fiat. And fiat's going to just lose value tremendously. And I just don't know when it's going to happen, But the more people we can wake up, the better. That's one of the reasons I make these videos. So please like, subscribe, show it to your friends, let them know what's going on. If they don't know anything about Bitcoin or cryptocurrencies, I'm going to make a video that's just dedicated to that soon. Getting there 15 minutes here, so please, guys, kiss your wives, your girlfriends, hug your kids, pet your pets, and God bless. Joe Knows Cryptos signing off.